the second draft and final title of the name was Pillow Talk for Colored Folks Who Done Cried Too Many Tears for Years. I got the title of this workshop, you could call it, from a choreopoem called For Color Girls Who Have Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough. Very influential poem and play that I recommend looking up. But basically a choreopoem is a poem assigned by music, movement, or dance. So today my music is my voice. My movement is me adorning myself in this space. We're basically here to enjoy space together. I want to create an atmosphere similar to an atmosphere that you would have with your closest homegirls, with your closest femme friends, all your cuties that like you get ready with, wear makeup with, all that kind of stuff. I think that space is slept on as a space that has opportunity to theorize, create radical ideas, uplift each other, and do things that are under-recognized as real academic, like it could be academic, the shit that you talk about with your homegirls when you're getting ready, you know, or your homeboys or your home MBs and cuties. I'm trying to provide an atmospheric space where we can discuss the physical and metaphysical through this layout of a sleepover or a talk. I think there's a lot of power in feeling safe and connected to people, and the type of things that can go through your mind and come out of you can surprise you when you feel safe and connected and celebrated. So that's where we're at. So yeah, like I said earlier, if you weren't already on the live, get comfy, get chill. Let's all get our weed. Let's get our makeup. We're gonna do this right now. You're gonna witness me transform. I decided that the look that I'm dressing for would be my dream event. I'm letting myself just fantasize about if I wasn't in lockdown and if I wasn't under this system and if I wasn't even living on Earth, what event would my dream event be? So I'm dressing today, I think, to go to a gala where the living and dead can attend. I'm imagining that Toni Morrison is gonna be there and she's wearing a tight, cute dress. Maybe there's gonna be like a twerk off at the end. Maybe there's like anyone can connect to the loudspeaker and it's like a mutually shared playlist. That's the event that I'm gonna put on makeup for, and I hope that you can just vibe with me while I go through a few concepts that I invite you to explore with me, just as if we're homies and homegirls chilling right now. So yeah, the first thing I would invite you to do is what dream event would you be attending right now if you could attend any event? And if there's anyone in the chat, please let me know what dream event that you would like to go to. So I would like to start with asking if any of y'all really think about dreams, you know? Like, what is a dream really? Where do they come from? It is an expression of your subconscious. When you think about it, everything in your daily life that you aren't really thinking about, processing, or connected to. I'm also gonna start doing my brows while we get on this topic. yeah, thinking about dreams and like what dreams create, you know, dreams have created a lot of influential things, like a lot of influential music. And I think we can't forget how powerful they are, especially in these times where it's easy to lose faith, right? It's funny because this is like such a one-sided talk, but let's see. Oh, we already got people in the comments. I love you too. What up, Hoti? Anyways, so I have some notes here for us to discuss. I wouldn't have notes with my homegirls, but I have notes with you because I really want to stay on point. So radical dreaming, how radical dreaming can be a form of activism right now. It's something that I want everyone to allow themselves to think about. There's actually one of my favorite psychologists, maybe psychiatrists, I don't know, I'm with my homegirls, so I really don't need to have exact footnotes right now, but Carl Jung, he's one of the leading researchers of dreams. What was really cool about him was not only was he a science guy, he was also down with a little bit of feeling stuff, a little hippie stuff. He believed that he studied people who have mental health problems and studied their dreams. He started to find that emotions need to be expressed. Emotions can manifest in the subconscious. Trauma can manifest in the subconscious and in dreams. And the way that he was able to heal people was through art therapy. So that's an interesting concept to think about. If art therapy can heal these dreams and heal these traumas, if just having a method of expression can help these emotions that you hold inside, how powerful is that? I think there are a lot of ways that we can express our subconscious. Well, actually, I'm gonna go back a little bit. Also, I'm not even drawing on my eyebrows. Like, what's happening right now? Let's see. So yeah, if we think about emotions, emotions can manifest in so many ways, right? And like, if you don't let yourself express an emotion, I'm gonna let y'all see what I'm doing. Eyebrows. If you don't let yourself express an emotion, it's gotta go somewhere. It's not gonna go nowhere. Like, energy can be neither created or destroyed. Those feelings inside of you, if you don't let them be expressed or let them be felt, they're just gonna show up other ways, which I think is something really important in these times too. A lot of people are scared, a lot of people are pissed off, and a lot of people are angry, and we have to express that. So a lot of things that have been interesting me lately revolve around emotions and how emotions are held in your body. Emotions can actually manifest as sickness, illness. If you're stressed out, you can have heart problems, stomach problems. Your skin can start to change, you know, the biggest organ on your body. I'm fortunate enough to have friends who are healers, which is really important right now. Shout out to all the healers in the building, healers of all kinds. But I was talking to a friend who's a traditional Chinese medicine healer and also acupuncturist. And she told me that there are certain veins in your body that when an acupuncturist hits that vein with a needle, it gives you a release of emotion. Some people will feel grief, some people will feel anger. And I think like we have to let our emotions be felt, because they will go somewhere. They are something. So to think of the subconscious and to think of emotions and their need to be expressed, I would like to jump over now to ways of expressing them, and how there's so much power in that. I was supposed to do a look, but I'm just like going off. That's like, if I was with my homegirls right now, I would probably not even be doing a look. If they were as intently listening as you are, as my one-sided audience, I would be going off like this too. So anyways, thank you for coming to this sleepover. Thank you for being my homegirl. I'm just gonna keep putting that through, because like that's the experience I'm trying to create with you right now. Gee. So yeah, different ways of expressing your emotions. Like the thing that I think about first when I think about I don't even think I'm gonna do my brows right now. I'm just like so into talking to you guys. I'm gonna do some other things in my looks. Different ways of expressing your emotion, right? Like you can express, when I think about the number one thing that like influences people of all ages, like influences even little babies. Like you can find a video on YouTube of like a 2-year-old baby at like a church, and like the choir is singing and the baby is like got its hand up to the crowd. Like the baby is acting like it's had 2 sons already and like seen a bunch of stuff. It has that kind of feeling, and it can be moved by music. That emotion can be communicated through music. Like how fucking powerful is that, right? So yeah, I think about music when I think about one of the most influential ways to express emotions. And when we start to really think about music, like what is music? Like on a deep level, for real though, like is it, well, I'll just tell you, but like music, when I think about it, is an expression of the subconscious in some ways. Almost always, but some ways it can be really fluid and flowing. Music is really like a vibration, right? It's like a vibration set to a formula, to a number. It's almost like it's set to a pattern, which is a number, excuse me. But it's almost like every song, if every song is a pattern, every song could be like a set of numbers, you know? Every song could be really like an equation being added together to create some sort of algorithm. I'm going off now, but this is what I say to my homegirls. We're on that level. I don't know what you're talking to your homegirls about, but like all I'm saying as well with this is maybe I'm theorizing some revolutionary, relevant things just by talking to you, my homegirl. Maybe my own set of knowledge, I'm really creating something that's worth being listened to. Even if I don't have a university education, even if I'm a high school dropout, I'm right here on Pop Montreal and we're theorizing together. So yeah, I'm theorizing with you, and I want to give you to give yourself that credit that you're making radical theory that's just as valid as from your experience, you know, from what you're interested in, your passion. Your voice is still valid. Anyways, where the fuck was I? So yeah, what is music? You know, if music is a number and music is a vibration, and then we have things like the Fibonacci sequence, we're getting into like sacred geometry and stuff. That's just an equation, you know, the rate that things grow at, how they grow in spirals, how they grow in circles. That's just an equation, and math is on that level, music's on that level too, right? If it's like an equation, if it's like a pattern, a set of numbers all put together. And math is really the language of the universe, right? Which is why it's interesting that as becomes the strength of technology, which is all an equation, we're creating an alternate universe, right? Like through coding and numbers, we're creating an alternate universe, literally, where you can be uploaded as an avatar. Then you come back to nature. It's another math equation algorithm. Anyways, math, it's the language of the universe, and music is a communication of vibration that you can use to express an emotion, like a vibration inside of you. Like, that is some powerful shit. When you think about it, it's like exhilaratingly exciting. But I guess, yeah, that now brings me to the most influential. Well, not the most influential. I can't say that. Like, it brings me to what I've seen as the one example of a very free-flowing form of music, which is jazz, and improvisation. It's almost like play, but that play is like, when you think about jazz and you think about improvisation, it's all within a confine still, right? Like, to do a guitar solo, to do a jazz improv, you still work within a scale so that it sounds good. You still stick to a certain almost frame that keeps you in a confines of like your vibration staying being communicated properly, being understood properly. It's like pleasurable to the ear, so like it's being ingested by the brain, right? So yeah, think about improvisational jazz. You have beautiful music made just through expression, no pre-plan. It's like absolute play, absolute exploration, and it's within this confine. I find that really interesting. I find that fucking really interesting, especially when you think about Carl Jung and the brain and the subconscious. Like, there was a Carl Jung a Carl Jung theory that when you dream of a house, you're actually dreaming of different places in your subconscious. And you can even explore your subconscious if you dream of a house, according to Carl Jung. And according to me, because I'm trying to do that when I sleep. Anyways, yeah, like different places of your subconscious being like dreaming of a house, you know, dreaming of like any kind of physical space. If you dream of like a school, and like that school looks eerily like your school from elementary and your school from junior high and your school that doesn't even exist, that's really like places in your subconscious that you are occupying. It's like things that you've witnessed, it's experiences that you've had. So the idea of like lucid dreaming and exploring those spaces, exploring those confines, those mental like imagined walls, and being able to be in touch with your subconscious. Like, what I'm trying to do when I dream of a house, I'm trying to figure out which door is locked and try and unlock it. Because I've had dreams like that, dreams where like you're by the door and like you feel like there's a monster behind there and you're too scared to turn the handle, and you just feel this fear. It's so real, it's almost like your body doesn't know that it's not real. Those are the rooms that I'm like, what is actually behind that door? Like, what is that scary monster? Like, if I just reached out and turned the handle, what would be behind it? Anyways, that's just a theory. Just another theory to my homies. Just another theory to my homies going off. But it's interesting to think about. And then even going back to improvisational jazz, creating beautiful, pleasurable, sensical, off the cuff expressions within this confine, it's almost like that song is living in a house, right? That song is within an imagined confine. So I'm just trying to connect these things, you know. I'm definitely not I'm not a philosopher by like any sort of student loan sort of way. But yeah, it's interesting to think about almost how that method of free expression, it can exist and be understood, and it is in some sort of confine, just like in your brain. And jazz, what is jazz? What is music? Music is like a vibration. I'm going back to this. Music as a vibration. Isn't like a thought then an emotion that can even be transferred through an instrument? Isn't that just also a vibration? And like if you're resisting this, I understand, you know, because like sometimes there's like some like, anyways, I'm not even good, but just vibe with me right now. Just vibe with me. Yeah, so if you think about it, an emotion, a thought is just like another vibration, right? I'm not even doing my makeup because I'm being so into this right now. But yeah, I'm gonna do my highlighter. I haven't even put on a full look in so long too. Like I used to turn looks every day. Anyways, so yeah, thinking about vibrations, I'm just like obligatory putting on makeup now. Because I promised that. Yeah, vibrations. If you think about, let's look at my notes here. Yeah, like just microcosms and macrocosms. Like if you think about, I'm gonna take it somewhere else. Oh, actually, no, I'm not gonna take it somewhere else. So going back to jazz, going back to improvisation, going back to, if we now both, you know, agree on the concept that emotions are vibrations and vibrations can be expressed and those vibrations can affect other people, can be felt by other people. If you share your music and you move someone, that's like a vibration, that's like a feeling that's come through you and affected someone, and that's real. Like people cry, people start wars, people make love, all because of these vibrations that we're sharing, all because of something like music, a method to express your feelings. Like we need to allow ourselves methods to express our feelings. And if that is a cry, that is a shout, that's a little dance, that's like having a bath or like making some art or cooking food or cleaning your house, we need to let ourselves feel our emotions. Yeah, I get really interested too, like when we talk about dreams and then we talk about jazz, like dreams and jazz definitely hold hands, right? Like Sun Ra, a real ass, like one of the most like, y'all need to all look up Sunra, because that's someone who's gonna change your life if you look up his work. But yeah, Sun Ra believed in Afrofuturism, which is an imagined thing. It is hope, right? It is something that almost could never exist before, right? Like, or I don't know if it could ever exist, because he's literally talking about a different planet where only Black people can come live and be in peace. And it's not a game, like I'm not even saying something that is like an extrapolation on like a song that I'm really like just overly interpreting. He, in his lyrics, it's like, I invite you to join my space world, like come to my space world. We're gonna be on a planet of peace. We can achieve this through music. Like he was trying to take people to a dream which is actually something, right? Through music, through his vibrations, through his expression, he wanted to he created something that, can we debate that it wasn't real if it existed in the minds of many, many people? And like, I need to say, I'm not that the goal is to have a planet like of like being away from all people, even though that would be kind of cool if Black people had their own planet. But yeah, I'm coming to like the power of imagining something that has never existed before, you know? And letting yourself explore that. If you have a desire for something that has never existed before, like actual, like people not being taken advantage of and like the opposite of corruption, why not let yourself explore that to the maximum? Like, we've had people do that in the past. We have precedents for that in the past that have worked. And we need to allow ourselves to do that, especially right now, where like they're gonna try and give us a counter offer. I'm talking about they, them, I'm talking about the big man, I'm talking about the murderers, I'm talking about the people who like are at the top and don't give a fuck. They're literally laughing at our pain. They're gonna give us a counter offer to the revolution right now. I'm going off, but they're gonna give us a counter offer to the revolution, and we are not gonna accept it because they're giving us something imagined, and we want something unimagined. We want something that has never existed before, and people have done that before, and it's changed things and it's moved people. So yeah, and we can learn that from Sun Ra. He's one of the most radical dreamers I've seen out there. And also, if you know any radical dreamers, drop them in the comments. I'm getting my YouTube on. Okay, both my feet are asleep because I was sitting on them. Yeah, if you know a radical dreamer, drop them in the comments. If you know a local philosopher who may not have a degree, but this is one of the smartest people you know, we need to start uplifting them, you know? And also uplifting them based on their interests. Like my interest is dreams, and now look at me, y'all. I'm doing a workshop on dreams. Like, anyways. So, where was I with that? We were talking about, oh yeah, letting yourself allow to think of things that have never been imagined before, and how powerful that is, and how it's been done before in jazz, and how jazz is such a vibration. And if we think about like math and like vibrations and numbers being what we're all made of, the language of the universe, we really have like different versions of the universe on many different levels. Like just levels that we might not comprehend or foresee, but I'm even talking about like, I'm like so not doing makeup right now. I'm talking about microcosms and macrocosms. I'm talking about like mini versions of huge things that like we look at it and we're like, that's so small, but really it's us. Like if you look at a cell, you know, a cell, how's that look? It's not strong enough on camera. If you look at a cell has like many different parts to it. It has like, I believe a mitochondria, I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember shit from my science class, but it literally has different components that keeps it running, that keeps it together. If any one of the components starts misfunctioning, it gets sick, it can't function, it causes disease, you know, it causes the cell to like attack itself sometimes, like an autoimmune problem. And that cell is just one individual part of someone's whole body, you know? It's a small part that we don't see, And that if you look at it individually, you're like, that's doing nothing. But that cell has a lot of power, and that cell just continues to be the same structure for which life is to be allowed to live. Even when it comes to our minds, even when it comes to our dreams being in a house, music being in a scale, these cells exist within a house and within like a membrane. Anyways, but if you like go into a cell and then you zoom out a bit, you have a body, and then you zoom out a bit, say you have like a child and two parents, and then you zoom out from that, you have an industry, like a community. You zoom out from that, you have a city. You zoom out from that, you have a country. Fuck countries at this point though. If you're tired of being in a country, drop a comment. If you're tired of borders, drop a comment. Anyways, yeah, you zoom out again, you're in a country, then you're in a fucking world, then you're in a solar system, then what? I don't know, because we can't comprehend that yet, and maybe we never will, and we're not, I don't know. Actually, I believe that people have comprehended that in the past. We're just not at that place right now where that's common knowledge. Again, radical dreaming. I want to comprehend what's the universe of the universe of the universe of the universe. You know what I mean? So, yeah. The cells of our systems, essentially, if we talk about that, are like mini universes. And we're like the big mama universe. We have all these little baby universes inside of us. And then, you know, our society could be a universe in a way. Like, I'm just using that, you know, non-definition style as like a concept. But yeah, I just wanted to connect that microcosm with the macrocosm. And especially when it comes to expressing yourself, right? And like letting yourself feel emotions and letting yourself dream, because you're one component of this cell, you know? You're like one component of this thing that's greater to you. And one part of the cell, in a baby cell, one part of the cell, like deciding to switch up how it wants to move, can change the whole cell and can affect the whole body. But then it's like multiple cells that it becomes like how many cells are healthy versus how many cells are unhealthy, and that's going to determine the outcome of the body, you know? So like in a way, like if we're all individual cells, the more of us that are healthy, you know, the more of us that are like really like living in an aligned way, the better our entire body has at living, prospering, recreating itself, you know, like giving birth to another version of itself, that kind of thing. And, you know, your body literally will not be healthy if you don't express your emotions. So if you don't give your emotions a method of expression, if you don't explore your dreams, if you don't, and also you can change things with your dreams. I think that's where I'm really coming from with dreams, is your dreams are yours. Your dreams also belong to like a collective, because I guarantee there's someone out there dreaming the same things as you. But your dreams are yours, and you can literally change people's lives with them. Like I've heard music that has changed my life, and I have not looked back, and I think about that artist every day and like think about how they changed my entire perception of life, like Sandra. And I felt so seen by him, right? Like I never met him before, but like to see him wearing like fucking crazy ass, like, but also mystifying outfits, you know, referencing ancient Egypt and just like totally rejecting the reality, this narrative that like he's not from outer space, he's not from Saturn, and he's not from a planet where all Black people are safe, and he's here to help Black people and bring them back to that peaceful planet through his music, you know? That is mind-changing. Anyways, So I'm just trying to go on the importance of your dreams, the importance of expressing your emotions, and then the importance of how actually letting yourself explore those dreams, expressing your emotions, and giving yourself a method of expression can heal yourself, heal other people, make you a healthy self, and influence, you know? It's all real. And like, there's a lot of different methods of healing, ancient and new, that play on vibrations and play on the knowledge that the body has a flow and things need to flow or else you will get sick. Like we have somatic healing, we have Chinese traditional medicine, we have Reiki, even massage. If you think about it, massage is all about blood flow. It's all about flow. It's about getting to places where there are knots, where the flow has stopped, and breaking up the knots so the flow can go again. It's like Qigong, right? Qigong is like you're believing in the energy of your body, the electricity of your body, and making sure that it flows so that you don't get sick, and listening to it. So yeah, the importance of a method of expression, and even healing being like a method of expression or a way to assist you, a tool to express yourself. You could say healing is like an instrument then, you know? You could say that like people create like music with their healing, you know, and healing with their music, right? So yeah, I just want to underline the importance of healing right now as well. So I'm gonna like, I have a lot of notes here and I'm gonna like move on a little bit. So the last thing, I feel like I brought this up earlier, but I just wanted to talk about how, oh my God, it's already 5:44? Oh my God, damn, I was worried I would have stuff to talk about. This is crazy. I don't know what I thought I was gonna do, make them look at the same time. Whoa, okay, so I want to say all the components matter. Like if you have a method of expression, like healing, or like say you like making stuff, or you like fixing stuff, or you like cooking, you like cleaning, you like educating people, you know, you like chilling, sleeping, all components are important, right? Just like in a cell, all the different components of a cell are equally as important. So whatever method of expression you have, like just know that it's important and just keep following that flow. Follow like what is coming to you, like what is your like intuition and what your instinct tells you you like to do. And that's gonna help people no matter what like you think of it, you know, like you can't compare, like you can't say that one is better than the other is what I'm going to say. I'm not going to bring up any specific examples, but don't let your own your method of expression be compared to someone else's and think that it falls short, because every component is important. And if you were my homegirl, I would tell you that if you were doubting yourself and not feeling good. So yeah, when we talk about sound and vibrations, like really to expand on that even more, sound can be like touch, right? Like how do we interpret sound? How do we actually hear sound? If you think about it, it's like vibrations being expressed. And I'm gonna say expressed because they are expressed. Like a feeling, like an emotion. Anyways, yeah, they're expressed, they hit us, and our ears, we listen, but what is listening other than feeling, other than touch? Like if you think about it, what is taste, you know? Like taste is really your tongue touching something, touching chemicals, and it's like such a sensitive touch that it can feel the chemical compounds of what you're eating and tell your brain what it is. When you speak to another person, you're kind of like touching them with your vibrations, right? Like you're sending out those sound waves, you're expressing your voice, and you can change someone, you can affect them in a different way. Even when you touch someone, if we're all made of vibrations, like for example, like ancient Indian text has said that the world started with a sound wave, then after was light, then after was heat. So if we're all made of vibrations, you know, and you touch someone, you can give them a bit of your vibration. And then I want to go to the power of words, right? Like if music is like something controlled within a house, like a scale is like something beautiful that we can understand and adjust within a house, words are like vibrations within a confine. And if you think about it, even within a confine of our throat, even within a confine of our lungs, you know, we have like air leaving our lungs and it goes into a confine of our throat, and then it comes out as something that our brains can understand. We even have the power of words to do that, which is why I want to bring up like a mantra. I think like self-affirmation is really important, and actually it can be scientifically powerful. Even words can resemble the same thing as like a math equation, right? Because it's within this like language, like it's within like a set of letters, and then we use those letters or characters, not always letters, to create something. So thinking about your words being like math, everything being vibrations, each word has a different sort of vibration to it. And even if it's in a different language, you know, maybe we can feel those vibrations. And how important is it, especially if you understand the meaning of that word and your brain is able to pick up that vibration on a deeper level? How important are the words that we're saying to ourselves, right, y'all? I was gonna do a look, but I don't have enough time, but I just wanna say like the power of a mantra, you know? The power of saying certain words to yourself. I wanna like say a few words right now, and I want you to feel them. So I'm gonna say a few words. The first word I'm gonna say is yum. So how does that word feel? You know, how does that word feel to say, to say yourself, to hear someone else say it? What about the words? What about honey? What about that word? You know, how does that word feel? How does it feel to say it? You know, how does it feel to hear it? It feels good. Well, for me, it feels good. It might not feel good for you, but that's okay too, right? How about thank you? How about I appreciate you? How about I hear you, I see you? And I just want to say, like, what are the words that we're saying to ourselves, you know? I think about that. Like, how do these words make you vibrate when you even say it out of your own throat, when you even think it in your own mind and say that word has a vibration, right? Even when you speak, it has a vibration. So why would it not have a vibration in your mind? We have to pay attention to the words we see for ourselves. And even going back to some Indian ideologies in Sanskrit, the word mantra, man is to think, or it means the mind. Tra is a vehicle or tool. So if you think about it, mantra is like, I've read that it's called an instrument of thought. It's like an instrument where you can express your thoughts to, or maybe even choose how to direct your thoughts through. So yeah. And when you think about it, a mantra, if a mantra is an instrument of thought, in jazz, we use instruments. In music, we use instruments. We communicate thoughts with these tools, and they're all different kinds of tools. And I just want to give validity to the tool of like being nice to yourself and showing up to yourself. It's literally a tool, and you can make music with it, and that music is going to affect you, you know? Like that music that you make is going to be what you become, you know, vibrating in this world, you know, emitting that music inside of yourself that you're feeling. You're creating beautiful songs inside of yourself if you're nice to yourself, if you have a nice mantra, if you show up for yourself and you acknowledge those vibrations and you use tools to communicate those vibrations. And I just, even if you don't believe me, which it's cool, you know, where if you were my homegirl, you would also not be allowed to believe me, and you'd probably be able to debate back, which you can't do right now. But if you, I just want to underline that by talking about how you feel when you hear someone laugh at your joke, you know? When you tell a really good joke and someone just cracks up, the feeling that you get from that is so powerful. When you hear like a sigh, you know, that gives you a certain feeling. But I want to go back to jokes because it's like joy, but a joke is like an expression too. It's like a communication tool. Like if you make someone laugh and they laugh, you know, they're expressing a feeling of safety and joy with you. Like that makes you feel good. Like maybe that's why we like laughing, and it feels good to have someone laugh with you at something, is really that person is like expressing safety and joy and like togetherness and understanding of you. So I just want to continue to underline mantras. I want to continue to underline vibrations. And I'm bringing this all up right now. I have 7 minutes left because I think right now it's really important to have a meditation practice, to dream radically, dream of things we've never dreamed before, and believe that we can have more than what we've ever had, and believe that we all deserve to feel good inside, and explore what tools we need to feel good inside. And meditation is one of the oldest proven tools to make you feel good inside. Like there's been plenty of like clinical trials on meditation, and it's doing good, you know? So like any meditation that resonates with you, that you feel connected with, I think like we have to do that right now. It will change your life. It will literally change your brain and the way that you think and the vibrations that you feel. And if you feel good, you can make music with your body. You can make art with your body. Just how you move through the world, you know, can be art. You can change people's lives, you know, just like art. I think all of these things are not exclusive, you know. The ancient Egyptians, they didn't believe in compartmentalizing things. They didn't believe in like philosophy is different from music, and that music is different from science, and that art is different from any of those things. They believed it was all one thing. And if you think about it, we only really started compartmentalizing things like that once this fucking colonialism started up. And like their words, like the words divide and conquer, you know, they're even dividing us on a thought level. Like they are even dividing our interests and our sciences and our exploration on a mental level. They are saying science is different from they're saying science is different from art, you know. They're saying that like religion is separate from politics, but then they like sprinkle it back in all the time. They're really like dividing and conquering us on a mental level. And I think we need to all accept that, like, not trying to preach to you or anything, you know, but I'm on this platform right now, and I don't know how many people are going to listen and are listening, but like, I find it hopeful when I think about those things, you know, and when I think about letting ourselves explore, letting ourselves meditate, letting ourselves heal, and how healing isn't different from having a revolution, right? That gives me hope. Like when there's a lot of things to not have hope for, and like every day we're seeing things that are reasons why we could lose hope, but we can't lose hope, you know? and we can accept something that they've already offered to us, and we can have something like a future that has never existed before, you know? Because I don't know if I want a future that's existed before. I would rather live in a dream sometimes, you know? And like, I guess that comes back to this title, you know? Like, we cried tears for many years, and we've been living in this confine, you know? We've been living in this house, but we don't need to. And like, we need to escape from that somehow. We need to express ourselves and have like a tool of our expression. And that can change our future, you know? So I implore, I can't believe I'm crying on the bed, but like, this is why I thought of this idea, you know, because we cried too many tears, and like, I don't think anything that they will offer us will be good enough, you know? I don't want to live in a world that's already been lived in a cycle before. So, and I don't think any of us do too, you know? We have to allow ourselves to dream beyond what's ever been given to us, you know? And demand that, because right now at this critical time, they will make us a counter offering for our piece, and we can't accept it. We have to keep imagining more than they could ever offer us, you know? So yeah, I don't cry some tears, but that's just my method of expression right now, getting moved. Can't even believe that I'm having this opportunity to talk to all of y'all people. Like, I'm a high school dropout. I like sneak into some university classes sometimes to watch the lectures, but I can't even believe like my voice, I'm being listened to right now. And like, how fucking powerful is that, right? So yeah, my tool of expression is coming out through this tool of communication, and my vibration is reaching you and touching you and even affecting the vibrations in your brain and what you have. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up with that. But if anyone ever wants to talk about more of this kind of stuff, I'm down. I'm a tattoo artist and artist in Montreal. Sometimes I do poetry. Right now, we're making some moves with our vibrations, and I encourage you to as well. Yeah, so that's it. I'm gonna look at the QA really quick to be like, did anything come in there I didn't see? Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I don't have enough. Well, okay, what up, Peggy? How you doing? How you doing? I do think that tattoos are cathartic, and they're a good method of expression, because in a way you're like physically adorning yourself, right? So you're expressing yourself physically, other people see that, and it's affected by them. Anyways, bye! My time is up. Love y'all. Unless I can stay, I don't think I can stay.